Okay, so in one of my school courses, it's a very basic Linux course. And some of the things in there are very basic, and it kind of makes sense why. I understand why, but there's a part where they want you to use Nano. Sad part is I've already run into it where if you're like ahead or like more into it than the course expects you to be, then they penalize you for it and for showing that you're further along in it than what they're expecting. But they explain how to use Nano and think like using Nano and it's going to be on most every system. And it's like, I think there have been a few systems I've run into where I think Nano was actually missing. And pretty much any system will have VI installed. And the one problem with Nano versus VI is if VI is installed, a lot of people don't know how to exit out of it. What's really cool if someone wants to learn the basics is VimTutor. VimTutor's here to teach you how to use Vim. And it goes through it. So we are going to do a VimTutor Let's Play. Okay. So Vim is a very powerful editor that has many commands, too many to explain in a tutor such as this. This tutor is designed to describe enough of the commands that you'll be able to easily use Vim as an all-purpose editor. Now, in the course, there is mention of Vim and Emacs. They don't mention the holy wars that go on between the editors and how Nano gets into the mix too, even though Nano is a far inferior text terminal TUI text editor. The approximate time required to complete this tutor is 30 minutes, depending on how much time is spent with experimentation. The commands in the lessons will modify the text, make a copy of this file to practice on. If you started VimTutor, this is already a copy. It is important to remember that this tutor is set up to teach by use. That means that you need to execute the command to learn them properly. If you only read the text, you'll forget the commands. Make sure that your caps lock key is not depressed and press the J key enough times to move the cursor so that lesson 1.1 completely fills the screen. Okay, so we obviously don't have that because our window is much larger than that because we're special. Moving the cursor. Move the cursor, press the HKL keys as indicated. Move the cursor around the screen until you're comfortable. Hold down the J key until it repeats. Now you know how to move to the next lesson. Use the down key, move to lesson 1.2. If you're ever unsure about something you typed, press escape to place you in normal mode. So you hit escape to make sure you're in normal mode. Like press it 5 times if you feel. Cursors should also work, but using HKL, you'll be able to move around much faster once you get used to it. Really? Exiting Vim. Note, before executing any of the steps below, read this entire lesson. Press the escape key to make sure you're in normal mode. Type :Q, ! Enter. This exits the editor, discarding any changes you have made. Get back here by executing the command that got you into this tutor that might be VimTutor. If you have these steps memorized and are confident, execute steps 1 through 3 to exit and re-enter the editor. What? And then we redid it? What? :Q, ! Enter discards any changes you made. In a few lessons, you'll learn how to save changes to a file. Move down to 1.3. Press X to delete the character under the cursor. Move the cursor to the line below, marked with the arrow. To fix errors, move the cursor until it is on top of the character to be deleted. Press the X key to delete the unwanted character. Repeat steps 2 through 4 until the sentence is correct. Now that line is correct, go to lesson 1.4. As you'll go through this tutor, do not try to memorize, learn by usage. Insert. Move the cursor to the first line below, marked. To make the first line the same as the second, move the cursor on top of the character before which the text is to be inserted. Press I and type in the necessary additions. As each error is fixed, press escape to return to normal mode. Repeats steps 2 through 4 to correct the sentence. So we go and we insert and we insert and then we insert some text and we insert and then we insert. And now it's all identical. When you're comfortable inserting text, move to lesson 1.5. Press A to append text. Move the cursor to the first line below. It does not matter on what character the cursor is in that line. Press A, that's capital A, or maybe. Yeah, capital A. So you have to hold Shift and A. As the text has been appended, press Escape to return to normal mode. Move the cursor to the next line, and then we will insert as necessary. When you're comfortable appending text, move to lesson 1.6. Before executing any of the steps below, read this entire lesson. If you have access to another terminal, do the following there. Otherwise, exit this tutor as you did in lesson 1.2. At the shell prompt, type this command, vim file text.txt, enter. Vim is the command to start the Vim editor. File.txt is the name of the file you wish to edit. Use the name of a file that you change. Insert and delete text as you learned in the previous lessons. Save the file with changes and exit Vim with :WQ. If you have quit VimTutor in step 1, restart the VimTutor and move down to the following summary. After reading the above steps and understanding them, do it. So, we open a new window, we go vim file.txt, and my Vim Windows looks a bit different than what they've got here. And so, we insert some snazzy text. And then we go and we delete some, and we append some, and then we do the right quit WQ, and we're good to go. Lesson 1 summary. The cursor is moved using either the arrow keys or HJKL keys. So arrow keys. I do not have my hand camera. Let me rectify that. Okay, now we've got that rectified. So it's a little bit different, obviously my keyboard, but so if we go back, so HJKL moves the thing and the arrow keys move the cursor. Okay. So to start Vim from the shell, type vim file name. I use nvim as well, and yeah. To exit Vim, type escape, :Q, ! enter to trash all changes, or :WQ, enter to save the changes. To delete the character at the cursor, type X. To insert or append, type I to insert text, or capital A to append text after the line. Pressing escape will place you in normal mode, no matter what mode you're in, and unwanted and partially completed command. So yes, you can discard partial commands. So if I go like, oh, I don't think I have that. So if I go Z, you see it pops up and I can go escape and like that. Or I can go Q and escape and it ends that. Does it show up? Yeah, it does, right under the O. Right there. Okay. Now, deleting commands. Press escape to make sure you're in normal mode. Move the cursor to the line below. Move the cursor to the beginning of a word that needs to be deleted. Type DW to make that word disappear. So we go DW. So you can see it being typed in. And we go DW, so that deletes the whole word. And DW. And now we have some words that don't belong in this sentence gone. And now we go into more deletion. So we hit escape to make sure we're in normal mode. See, if we were in insert mode, it would give us that thing that's all the way over there that says insert. Or in visual mode, it gives us that thing over there that says visual. Move the cursor to the line below. Move the cursor to the end of the correct line. And then type $. So we can go to the end, and then we go $, and all of it's gone. Move to lesson 2.3 to understand what is happening. Many commands that change text are made from an operator and a motion. The format for a delete command with the delete operator is as follows: motion. D is the delete operator. Motion is what the operator will delete on listed below. A short list follows. Delete until the start of the next word, excluding its first character. E to the end of the current word, including the last character, and $sign to the end of the line, including the last character. Thus, typing DE will delete from the cursor to the end of the word. Now, this applies in our movement too. If I hit $, moves us to the back end of the word. If I hit B, which it might go over later, well, it will, I'll go to the beginning of the word, and then E goes to the end of the word, and then 0 brings us to the beginning of the line. Thus, typing DE, pressing just the motion while in normal mode without an operator will move the cursor as specified. So it talks about that. Typing a number before motion repeats it that many times. So we go 10, you can see it right there. 10 down. That was good. Move the cursor, type 2W to move the cursor 2 words forward. Type 3E to move the cursor to the end of the third word. Type 0 to move to the start of the line. Repeat steps 2 and 3 with different numbers. And let's see, typing a number with an operator repeats it that many times. In the combination of the delete operator and a motion mentioned above, you insert a count before the motion to delete more. Move the cursor to the first uppercase word in the line, in the marked line. Type D2W to delete the 2 uppercase words. So we go to D2. You can see it right there. And then we delete the word. Repeat. Oh, wait. There. Repeat steps 1 and 2 with a different count to delete the consecutive uppercase words with one command. So we go D4W. Again, same spot right there, down there. And then we go 3 words over. We go D3W, and it's cleaned up. Ooh, too far. Type DD to delete a whole line. Due to the frequency of whole line deletion, the designers of VI decided it would be easier to simply type 2 Ds to delete a line. Move the cursor to the second line in the phrase below. Type DD to delete the line. Now move to the fourth line and type 2DD to delete 2 lines. So we go to the second line, and then we go to the next line, we go dd, and there we go. Doubling to operate on a line also works for operators mentioned below. Press U to undo the last command. Press U to undo the last command. Capital U to fix a whole line. Move the cursor to the line marked and place it on the first error. Type X to delete the first unwanted character. Now type U to undo the last command executed. So we go X and then U. This time fix all the errors in the line using the X command. Now type a capital U to return the line to its original state. So let's see. X, and then X, and then X, and then we go to the beginning of the line. So we hold Shift U and undo that. And now type U a few times to undo the U, capital U, and the preceding commands. Now type Control R, keeping Control key pressed while holding R a few times to redo the commands, undo the undos. So we move throughout time. Okay. Okay, lesson 2 summary. To delete the cursor up to the next word, type DW, to the end of the word, DE, end of the line, $, whole line, DD. To repeat a motion, append it with a number that many times. You can do it like 1,000 times, trust me. Format for a change command is operator number motion. Operator is what to do, such as D for delete. Number is an optional count to repeat the motion, and motion moves over to the text to operate on, such as WE, $, etc. To move to the start of the line, use a 0. To undo previous actions, type U. To undo all changes on a line, type capital U. And to undo the undos, type Control R. This is time travel. Okay. Type P to put previously deleted text after the cursor. Move the cursor to the first line below, marked. Type DD to delete the line and store it in a Vim register. Now move the cursor to the C line, above where the deleted line should go. Type P to put the line below the cursor. Now repeat steps 2 through 4 to put all lines in correct order. Violet's red. Rose is red, violet's blue. Intelligence is learned. You can learn too. Okay. Type RX to replace the character at the cursor with X. Move the cursor to the first line below marked. Move the cursor so that it is on top of the first error. Type R and then the character which should be there. Repeat steps 2 and 3 until the first line is equal to the second. Now move on to lesson 3.3. So we go RN, and then RY, RP. We forgot the RE, and this line was typed in. Someone pressed RW, RE. Okay, some Wong keys. Remember that you should be learning by doing, not memorization. To change until the end of word, type CE. Move the cursor to the first line marked. Place the cursor on the U in lib. Type CE and correct the word. In this case, type INE. Press escape and move to the next character that needs to be changed. So we go change end, and we go words. Wait. Oh, wait, no, that somehow was right. Interesting. What CE deletes the word and places you in insert mode? CC does the same for the whole line. So we could go CC and change a whole line, but we're not going to do that. The change operator is used with the same motions as delete. The change operator works in the same way as delete. Format is C number motion. Motions are the same as W and $. Now move the cursor to the first line marked. Move the cursor to the first error. Type C $, and type the rest of the line like the second and press escape. Oh, wait. That would help if I did it right. You can use the backspace key to correct mistakes while typing. To put back text that you've just deleted, type P. This puts the deleted text after the cursor. If the line was deleted, it will go on the line below the cursor. To replace the character under the cursor, type R and then the character you want to have there. The change operator allows you to change from the cursor to where the motion takes you. Example, type C to change from the cursor to the end of the word. Seek $sign to change to the end of the line. The format for a change is C number motion. Now go on to the next lesson. Cursor location and file status. Type Ctrl-G to show your location in the file and the file status. So you can see right over there, it pops up. Type G to move to a line in the file. Read this entire lesson before executing any of the steps. Hold down Control and press G. We call this Ctrl-G. A message will appear at the bottom of the page with the file name and the position in the file. Remember the line number for step 3. 492. You may see the cursor position in the lower right corner of the screen. This happens when the ruler option is set. Press G to move to the bottom of the file. Type GG to move to the start of the file. Type the number of the line you are on and then capital G. This will return you to the line you were on when you first press Ctrl-G. If you feel confident to do this, execute steps 1 through 3. So we go, let's see, 492, yeah. Capital G, GG, and then 492G. And that brings us back here. Okay, search command, type slash followed by a phrase to search for the phrase. In normal mode, type the slash character. Notice that it and the cursor appear at the bottom of the screen with the colon command. Now type error. Enter. This is the word you want to search for. To search for the same phrase again, simply type N. To search for the same phrase in the opposite direction, type capital N. Go back to where you came from. Press Ctrl-O. Oh, wait. Repeat to go back further. Ctrl-I goes forward. When the search reaches the end of this file, it will continue at the start unless the wrap scan option has been reset. So what that means is it will wrap around your searches once you hit the end of the file. Matching parentheses search. So place it on any parenthesis in the line marked below. Now type the % character. Okay. Type the % character. Cursor will move to the matching parenthesis or bracket. Type % to move the cursor to the other matching bracket. Now move the cursor to another set and see what % does. This is very useful in debugging a program with unmatched parentheses or closing brackets. Substitute command. Type $s old/new G to substitute new for old. Move the cursor to the line marked below. Type 0. Type $s/the, and enter. Note that this command only changes the first occurrence of the in the line. Now type $s, the/the/G. Adding the G flag means substitute globally on the line, changing all occurrences of the in the line. To change every occurrence of a character string between two lines, type :number, number s, old new G. Where number, the line numbers are the range of lines where the substitute is to be done. To change every occurrence in the whole file, %s/old new/G. To find every occurrence in the whole file with prompt whether to substitute or not. Same thing, but with a C tacked on to the end. So Control-G moves your location in the file and displays your location in the file and file status. G moves to the end of the line. G moves to the line number. GG moves to the first line. Type / followed by a phrase searches forward for the phrase. Typing ? Followed by a phrase searches backwards for the phrase. After a search, type N to find the next occurrence in the same direction, or N to search in the opposite direction. Control-O takes you back to the older positions. Control-I to newer positions. Typing % and while the cursor is on any kind of bracket or goes to its match. Substitutions are all right there. How to execute an external command. Type : followed by an external command to execute that command. Type the familiar command : to set the cursor at the bottom of the screen. This allows you to enter a command line command. So we go : now type the ! character. This allows you to execute an external shell command. As an example, type ls following the ! and hit enter. This will show you a listing of your directory just as if you were at the shell prompt, or use ! dir if ls doesn't work. It is possible to execute an external command this way, also with arguments. All : commands must be finished by hitting enter. From here on, we will not always mention it. Now, to save changes made to the text, type w file name, w file name. Type : !! ls to get a listing of your directory. You already know you must hit enter after this. Didn't mean to. Choose a file name that does not exist yet, such as test. Now type : w VimTutor test. This saves the whole file. Under the name test or whatever, to verify this, type : !! ls again to see your directory. I'm not scrolling through that. If you were to exit Vim and start it again with Vim test, the file would be an exact copy of the tutor when you saved it. Now remove the file by typing : rm VimTutor test. Okay. Selecting text to write. Move the cursor to this line. Press V and move the cursor to the 5th item below. Notice that the text is highlighted. Press the : character at the bottom of the screen. Let's see. Press the : character at the bottom of the screen. : and that will appear. Type w test where test is a file name that does not exist yet. Verify that you see test before you press enter. VimTutor select. Vim will write the selected lines to the file test using that. Do not remove it yet. We will use it in the next lesson. Press V. Pressing V starts visual selection. You can move the cursor around to make the selection bigger or smaller. Then you can use an operator to do something with the text. For example, D deletes the text. To insert the contents of a file, type R, file name. Place the cursor just above this line. After executing step 2, you'll see text from lesson 5.3, then move down to see this lesson again. Now retrieve your test file using the command R, VimTutor select. Where test is the name of the file you use, the file you retrieve is placed below the cursor line. To verify that a file was retrieved, cursor back and notice that there are now 2 copies of lesson 5.3, the original and the file version. You can also read the output of an external command for blah, blah, blah. Okay. Let's see. Lesson 5 summary. : command executes an external command. Some useful ones. W file name writes a current Vim file to disk with the name file name. V motions : W file name saves visually selected lines in file name. R file name retrieves disk file name and puts it below the cursor. R dir reads the output of the dir command and puts it below the cursor position. So you can nest these together and have a little fun with it, but I'm not going to do that because I have too many files in the current working directory. Lesson 6.1. Okay, let's check our progress. We're 74% through. Type O to open a line below the cursor and place you in insert mode. Move the cursor to the first line below marked. Type the lowercase letter O to open up a line below the cursor and place you in insert mode. Now type some text and press escape to exit insert mode. To open up a line above the cursor, simply type a capital O rather than a lowercase o. Try this on the line below. Okay, the append command. Type A to insert text after the cursor. Move the cursor to the start of the first line marked below. Press E until the cursor is on the end of LI. Type an A to append the text after the cursor. Complete the word like the line below it. Press escape to exit insert mode. Use E to move to the next incomplete word and repeat steps 3 and 4. So we go line, and then let's see. Add ice in there, and then NG. A, I, and capital A all go to the same insert mode. The only difference is where the characters are inserted. Type A, capital R to replace more than one character. Move the cursor to the first line below marked. Move the cursor to the beginning of the first XXX. Oh my goodness. Now press capital R and type the number below it in the second line so that it replaces the XX. So capital R. Press escape to leave the replace mode. Notice that the rest of the line remains unmodified. Repeat the steps to replace the remaining XXX's. R, 4, 5, and 6. Replace mode is like insert mode, but every type character deletes an existing character. Copy and paste text. Use the Y operator to copy text and P to paste it. Move to the line below marked and place the cursor after A. Start visual mode with V and move the cursor to just before first. Type the Y to yank the highlighted text. Move the cursor to the end of the next line. And then type P to put the pasted text. Then type a second Escape. Use visual mode to select item and yank it with Y. We go that, and then yank, and then we paste it. You can also use Y as an operator. YW yanks one word, and YY yanks the whole line. Then P puts that line. Set an option so a search or substitute ignores case. Search for ignore by entering /ignore. So you repeat several times with N. Set the IC ignore case option by entering set IC. Now search for the ignore again by pressing N. Notice that the ignore and ignore are now also found. Set the HL search and ink search option. Well, that's handy, isn't that? Thank you, wallpaper. Now type the search command again and see what happens. To disable the ignoring case, set no IC. To remove the highlighting of matches, enter no HL search. If you want to ignore case for just one search, use \C in the phrase. Ignore \C, enter. Lesson 6 summary. Type O to open a line below the cursor and start insert mode. Type capital O to open the line above the cursor. Type A to insert text after the cursor. Wallpaper, you're not helping. A. Let's see what. So what we're going to do. There we go, better. Type A to insert text after the cursor. Type capital A to insert text after the end of the line. Type E command. The E command moves to the end of the word. Y operator yanks, copies text. P puts or pastes it. Typing a capital R enters replace mode until escape is pressed. Typing set XXX sets the option XXX. That's very, very lewd. IC to ignore case, IS to ink search, and HLS to highlight search. So it shows partial matches again. You can either use the long or the short option name. Prepend no to the switch of an option, set no IC to do the opposite. 7.1 Getting help. Use the online help system. Vim has a comprehensive online help system. To get started, try one of 3. Press the help key if you have one, press the F1 key if you have one, or type help. Let's go down. Read the text in the help window to find out how the help works. Type Ctrl W to jump from one window to another. Type :Q enter to close the help window. You can find help on just about any subject by giving an argument to the help command. Try these. Don't forget pressing enter. Help W. So this tells us what W does. Words forward. We can go help user manual. This brings us to the user manual. Creating a startup script. Vim has many more features than VI, but most of these are disabled by default. To start using more features, you should create a vimrc file. Start editing the vimrc depending on your system. So it is in your home directory in .vimrc for Unix and _vimrc for Windows. Now read the example vimrc file contents. Write the file with O:\W. Next time you start Vim, it will use syntax highlighting. You can add all of your preferred settings to this vimrc file. So I already have one. It's got a little bit of stuff in it. So yeah. But you could follow that, and if we were to enter, I'm using NeoVim, so that's the difference. You'd normally type Vim, but yeah, this is fine. So it's $Vim. Can I type right? Runtime, and then /vimrc. Are you kidding me? Example. .vim. So I bet you it's fine. We do that, but completion. Command line completion with Control-D and Tab. Make sure Vim is not in compatible mode. Set no CP. Look what files exist in the directory. ls or dir. Type the start command of a command, :E, and then Tab. Press Control-D and Vim will show a list of commands that start with E. Control-D. Press Control-D and Vim will show, let's see, type D tab and Vim will complete the command to edit. Now add a space and start of a file name. File, press tab, Vim will now complete the name if it is unique. Completion works for many commands, just try pressing Control-D and tab. It is especially useful for help. I won't do that because I don't want to open it here. Lesson 7 summary. Help or press F1 or help to open a help window. Help CMD to find help on CMD. Type Control-W to jump to another window. Type :Q to close the help window. Create a vimrc startup script to keep your preferred settings. Type a : command, press Control-D to see possible completions. Press tab to use one completion. This concludes the VimTutor. It was intended to give a brief overview of the Vim editor, just enough to allow you to use the editor fairly easily. It is far from complete, as Vim has many more commands. Read the user manual next. For further reading and studying, this book is recommended. Vim, VI Improved by Steam Oline. First book completely dedicated to Vim, especially useful for beginners. There are many examples and pictures. This book is older and more about VI and Vim, but also recommended learning the VI editor. From O'Reilly by Linda Lamb. It is a good book to get to know almost anything you want to do with VI. Second edition also includes information on Vim. Yeah, so that's VimTutor. That's a 43-minute thing. Anyway. If you enjoyed the video, then like, comment, subscribe, feed the algorithm, boost the video up, share this video with your friends. If you found it informative or you just want to chat, I've got plenty of places in the description, Discord, Guilded, and what have you. Check those out, and I will see you guys in the next one.